Karsa, KKWX. Karsa's my name. KKWX is my empire. Here today with my friends as we play Waystone Mysteries, episode 27. Let's see if we can actually deal with the problem at hand. The vampire kid. Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, we're here with our friends from NRT. Let's get to it. Do you remember you did all your strings attached kind of thing, and you found out that there's a good chance it may not be a vampire, it could be a ghoul. That is the kid. The blood. You also know that how many people will more likely be there, and what's your time frame that you will need to get there. You talk to Ashley and you talk to Hayden about the different things that they've done for working against vampires. Kane was here, helped with that. And he continued on his research for dealing with that situation. Then you also looked into the Sinslayer. You went to the morgue. You found out that Melanie Schumer did indeed have a marking on her back, making her the gluttony sin. But you're not sure how that fits through. And so that we're in the room where you were talking about research, and that's where we're going to begin. What do you want to do?
Well, we've got the problem that I cannot run distraction at that place because they've already seen me.
Mm-hmm.
I converted two of their number last time to Pastafarianism. I will never let this go.
Should have gotten them. I mean, to be fair, you should have gotten them into Spaghettianism.
It's the same thing.
Is that like a spoonism?
No. No, it's spaghetti.
I believe our last plan that did not involve hot air balloons was to nail the coffin shut and figure out a way to transport it out.
Yes, that was your option.
Yes. Yes, because the hot air balloon was way too conspicuous.
It would be quiet.
Yeah, but you could only do it at night, which was the real problem.
Not if we approached it from the right angle.
You'd still have to get it out the window. The coffin, I mean.
Be very careful. But the hot air balloon plan is out. We're not dealing with it anymore. But the problem is, we know there's one god that's going to be inside the house. And try as I might, I cannot envision a way for us to transport a coffin out of that house without that god finding out. No matter how distracting Francis may be.
Or how shot I could get.
I'm sure that's a risk Nathaniel's willing to take. I mean, look, if it comes to getting shot, just like dodge the bullets. It'll be fine.
Just get hit with smaller calibers.
Yeah.
Eventually,
if you start now, you'll be immune in no time.
Yeah, I believe currently the plan was to use ether to try to quickly subdue and knock out the inside guard, and then try to sneak out the thing there.
And then you and L, arguably the strongest people left in the party, do something to get the coffin out.
I think this whole thing has a tremendous risk to it. The problem is we're not really seeing a whole lot of alternatives.
And I'm having trouble remembering after we kidnapped the kid, what were we doing?
going to see if we could fix the kid.
Okay.
And the way we're going to fix the child is by doing what, a specific ritual or something like that, or medical.
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
I'm gonna be honest. There was a good reason we decided to go for kidnapping instead of staking. I do not recall what it was.
Because you think it may be actually a ghoul and not a vampire.
Yeah, Ashley and
No, because we were considering the kidnapping plan even before we knew that.
yeah, which is the session I missed.
Oh, you also found out one other
Because
thing.
Ashley and goddamn, what's his name?
You also found out one other thing. That necklace, or the amulet, might be fake, or there was a fake made.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because the wording on it didn't match up for the time period.
Right.
Too much contemporary shit going on.
Which does create a humorous situation. Multiple groups of vampires fighting over a fake necklace.
Yeah, that is kind of funny now that I think about it.
Well, if that's the case, then we're gonna have to go have a conversation with the dude that used to own the castle.
What was that?
Well, he said it creates an interesting conundrum because if that's true, we might need to have a conversation with the guy who used to own the castle. I mean, I feel like that's something we need to do regardless, thanks to the freaking gateway underneath it.
Well, no. He used to own the castle because Hayden basically told him to go fuck
Hayden, that's
himself
his name,
with
thank you.
property. We can talk to Hayden whenever we want. He's in the room with us.
No, I mean, I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. I knew it started with H, but my brain kept correcting to Harrison.
I mean, the plan aside, the plan I didn't care about. That was always going to go sideways. I just wanted to remember why this mattered before I actually committed to it.
Yeah, because Ashley and Hayden said they have research that might be able to help the kid.
Only if he's
I
a
mean-
ghoul.
Yes, the confirmation on that was that according to the blood research, the kid is not it's not vampire blood that you have. It's mostly human with a little bit of vampire added in, which is effectively what the various esoteric texts and stuff that they've collected over the years seem to suggest is how you control someone as a vampire. You give them some of your blood, making them basically enthralled to you. Obviously,
Okay.
this is entirely based on we think this is how it works. We're not 100% sure, mainly because when we have the opportunity, we kill them.
Is
But-
that enough of a regenerative potency to cure diseases in somebody?
That is what the blood work would seem to suggest. Is that effectively the kid has been given just enough to fight off disease and such, which is causing the condition he has to effectively be paused and is slowly regressing it.
That was also found out last time.
Yeah. So technically, the kid is not actually a Dracula, as per Nathaniel's definition, but he is more than 1% Dracula. Though it's unknowable how, if you were to engage in a fight with him, it's unknown how beyond human his abilities would be. Though you'd probably wager it to be far below fighting an actual vampire, but probably a little bit noticeably more than human.
It's alright. He'll get shot in the gut and end up bleeding out on an apartment floor until a new vampire shows up and he's just like, "Can you help me? Here's some C4. Go blow up something."
Wait, has C4 been invented by the 20s?
That was a very long reference to a game.
Oh.
I mean, me personally, I'm just picturing a C3 butterfly exploding in your hand. I mean, at the very least, you've probably got the precursor to Composition B, if not Composition B.
Why is he still in a coma? Well, it's hard.
Are you asking about why the kid is
Yeah.
seemingly in a coma? Hayden would wager it's probably to do with the process. It's probable that effectively his body is likely trying to fight off but slowly losing because it's effectively an infection taking over his system. So effectively the body is in a process of shutdown before it takes over. Which is also why he might be savable if he is no longer given extra blood, because you are able to figure through Hayden explaining the journal entries that there is a change in the percentage of how the blood levels are between the human and non-human. There is a faint variation, so he assumes the kid is being topped up essentially.
And if somebody in this position was to be brought out into the sunlight, would they die as per vampire, or would they kind of just be like, ow, 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 ow?
Likely the second. It would probably be slightly uncomfortable, because in theory it would be starting to affect. Though, Hayden will tell you, they've never had someone in that position that they could actually really find out with. Basically because the research into that would be incredibly barbaric.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So, I have a new idea for the plan, guys. If taking this kid out into the sun isn't going to immediately kill him, then why do we take the coffin at all? Much easier to just carry the body out.
Yeah, that's a good.
Slap-
I think the
slap a-
reason why the coffin became a option is to just in case the kid wakes up and actually is homicidal and strong.
Oh, well, that's where restraints and a mouth gag come in.
Yeah, Hayden in the room will be like, yeah, we have restraints, gags, hoods. I believe Nathaniel has a very large truck. If you're able to get into Nathaniel's truck, you should have no real problem afterwards.
Oh yeah, the paddy wagon. I forgot about that.
Getting him out of the house is going to be a lot easier if we're not carrying the coffin.
True.
How do you propose we get him out then, though? With
Well,
the
we
coffin, at least he isn't struggling or trying to resist.
If he's stuck in a coma, he's not going to be resisting anyway. And if he is resisting, again, the first thing we do before we carry him out is restraints plus a gag. And then I'll carry him out. I don't care.
All right.
I'd rather deal with a struggling kid than trying to carry out a coffin that is designed to be carried by 6 people. With only
It's a
2
child's
hands.
coffin, 4 people at most.
Thought he was a teenager.
He's 16.
Ah, that's right, yeah.
Still lighter than the average coffin, but yeah, I guess that seems like a better plan. It's just we gotta figure out who's gonna run distraction because it can't be me this time. That's something we established.
I mean, it can. It's more distracting than some asshole showing up to proselytize again. They've already opened the door.
Fair enough. Hey, maybe I'll get lucky and those two guys will be there. We can discuss things from the next meeting, or from the last meeting. Assuming they weren't taken out back and shot.
Why would they be taken out back and shot?
Yeah, converting religion on the job. I'm sure people have been shot for less.
Converting religion on the job.
They could have
I'm
been
sure people have been
fired,
shot for
but
less in the
I'm not
past.
sure about shot. Then again, we are dealing with vampires.
Well, we'll find out, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, everything else is just gonna have to be done on the spot. Let's pull the trigger on this. Let's go.
Okay, so who's getting the chloroform?
If you remember, there was one time.
Everybody, I assume, turns to Nathaniel.
We can just grab it on our way out. I think there's not any in the lab.
You know what? Fair.
There is some in the lab. So Ashley responds, basically saying, "Yeah, there's chloroform in there."
You know what? Fair enough. And I'm sure the paddy wagon has plenty of restraints in it, right?
Well, I needed restraints ahead of time, and Hayden apparently has some.
You know what? Fair enough.
We've been working with monsters. We have them. You are not absent of restraints.
The van has been modified to hold dangerous creatures.
Yeah, once
Never had a Dracula in there before, but if it can hold werewolves and demons and other such things, I'm sure it can hold a Dracula.
Once he's in the van, this is easy. So, we need something for his mouth, preferably one of those things that they put on silent patients to keep them from biting.
Mm-hmm.
Ankle and wrist restraints. Preferably less give, the better.
It's doable.
I mean, luckily iron shackles were still a thing.
Dude, iron shackles are literally still a thing.
Right!
I think there's zinc, but not the point.
I don't know if we can make them quiet though. They may cause noise.
Yeah, and carry a coffin out, ain't.
True.
You know what? Fair point.
Arguably, it may actually be easier carrying him out if he's in shackles, because you can hold the shackles.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, it was better than trying to get the coffin out the window.
People steal corpses from grave robbing. They don't take the casket with them. Granted, the corpses don't fight back there, but
Exactly.
Yeah, Hayden will note that, yeah, this is also entirely on the basis that he even does wake up. Since his involvement, since Dexter's involvement was confirmed in this, I've had a couple people looking into things, and essentially, there's nothing about the kid, which suggests, at the very least, if he is waking up, he's been kept within the house.
Nothing about him, like, meaning no official record or mention or anything like that?
Well, there's official record. It's just that nothing's been heard about since the kid miraculously started recovering.
Pretty much. The last thing we have is that mention in that news story about they were hoping to, hoping to lessen the impact and everything, and then essentially mention of him stops. So there's no mentions of him officially dying or anything like that. And of course, you have literally confirmed he is alive in the mansion, manor, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, there's nothing
alive with a
officially
big old
saying.
asterisk.
Yes, there's nothing official has been stated. Plus, a few agents here and there have not been able to confirm anything outside of he's in the house. So we are operating under the assumption he's either being very well controlled or is completely comatose. Hopefully the latter, because that makes retrieving him much easier for your team.
Go ahead with assumptions that he's not. Hence the
Yes.
restraints.
Yes.
Which is better safe than
Prepare for
sorry.
the worst, hope for the best.
Yep.
Exactly. I got
Yes,
an
that
AFK
is my point. Hopefully they will not be needed, but
Oh, they're going on him regardless.
they are going.
That's the first thing that's happening before I take him out.
That is a good idea.
There's nothing else to add. Might as well just go and get this done.
Good luck. Good luck, boys. Good luck, boys. I'll be here waiting for you.
Come on. I say, good luck, boys. Have fun with the kidnapping. Come on.
You think they'll make it? It would take a
Yeah.
miracle. It would take a miracle. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'll be here waiting for you. What else am I supposed to say? I'm not even leaving the area for the next 2-3 weeks. At least until the Sin Slayer is found. So, anyway, good luck, guys. I'll be in the lab. And she walks off.
Last time we discussed this, Al, how confident are you in your ability to subdue and restrain an armed guard before they are able to raise an alarm?
Depends on the distance at which they spot me.
There. How good are you at being stealthy?
I mean, not my favorite approach, but I can.
Yeah, even before dealing with the Dracula child, the guard remains a major consideration. Francis can distract all he wants, but if an alarm is raised from inside, they're going to notice.
Unless we have a way of getting them out ahead of time, then it's gonna have to be dealt with on the spot.
Well, we spent a not inconsiderable amount of time trying to think up a way to do exactly that, and not succeeding.
That's why I'm not wasting my time. I'm just heading in. Just gonna have to
Yep.
deal with it.
Bad plan is better than no plan. Let's go.
That plan it is.
So we drive to the place.
So you head to the place, the Blue
Let's go.
Street Manor. If you give me a second, I will change the.
Also, we're changing that name in every legal document we can find to now Red Street Manor, because it no longer has the qualifications to be blue.
True.
Yeah, the paperwork's in. Currently, the local estate agent is dragging their heels because they like that name and they had it trademarked, so they stand to lose 15%.
Well, then they should have talked to Geico.
Well, they didn't know about them, you know? It was their first job.
I mean, it's easy. So easy, a Sasquatch could do it. If they still existed.
Alright. So, as you're heading towards the manor, it is, what, around noon for you guys? Or earlier?
It'd be whatever time they showed up last time.
That was noon.
Yep.
So,
Look, it's the Blue Manor. They couldn't even put blue flowers up in front.
Yeah, so, well, here's the question. Do you guys head out at that same time, or do you go early or later? When do you want to arrive?
Around the same time they were at the manor last time.
between 12
Yeah, we
and
had a good
2.
amount of time before like anyone else arrived last time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it seems like a good time to do it.
Yeah, so when you arrive, it's basically the exact same as it was before. Are you waiting a short time to, check on patrols and stuff before heading in, or?
Just make
just-
sure that's
Just enough time to change clothes. Gonna throw on a mask over the lower half of my face.
Oh yeah, for the record, none of us should be wearing our normal outfits.
Yeah, and we're going back to the worker clothes. Unfortunately, means I'm going without my armor, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so when you pull up and start getting everything finalized for heading in, you see there are the two guards outside. One staying at the main entrance, basically watching like the front entrance where the drive is and everything, leading up to the structure. The other guard does seem to be periodically patrolling the grounds. And then there's the other guard that you're aware of that's inside, that, assuming they're on the same schedule, should be about 15 to 20 minutes patrolling the inside of the building before he returns outside. And then one of the other guards heads in, does their patrol. They're basically leapfrogging that thing. Is that the term? Anyway, point is, yeah, they're cycling who's inside on roughly that amount. You would assume based on the previous watching of the place.
Okay, I'm back. What I miss?
They've used your head as a battering ram, and you need to roll initiative against the door. The door wins. No, you guys have all
gotta use
arrived.
your head, but I don't want to use my head.
Yeah.
I had the
You've got
dumbest
armor.
thought. The dumbest thought on how to maybe pull the guy inside outside.
Oh yeah.
If Francis rolls up and is just like, "Hey guys, I'm here to make sure you guys are getting comfortable with the clan. I mean the religion. The clan. I mean cult. I mean religion." And then while you're talking to them, Vinny randomly comes running around the corner and starts yelling at you about how all the people you've pulled away from whatever innate religion Cervantes wants to come up with. You guys get in a very heated argument. Maybe Francis pulls his fucking hat gun out.
I'm
Francis
just
literally showed up
picturing-
wearing a colander last time.
I'm now literally picturing that his hat turns into a gun.
Yes, I'm Jervis Tetch. I'm the Mad Hatter. Got it.
Basically, if you guys
Yeah.
get into a big enough argument, the third guy might have
Well-
to go outside.
Yeah, we can draw the attention. I'll make I'll make a hell of a racket. No problem.
Yeah. So Francis will put on his colander again. How do I look?
All right. If you're gonna do this, Vinny, be careful.
Blink. Is there something that I should know about?
No. The obvious joke was not bothering to tell Francis to be careful.
There's some very valuable stuff going on, so I need you to keep it safe. What about me? Guard it with your body. But what about me? Yours.
What about you?
If we got a
Exactly.
$10,000 life and limb policy on you,
Oh, well, that's okay then. Wait, what?
Okay, Vinny, be sure to just like really sell the blows you rain on Francis. Like,
And this is why he
Don't
wears
hold back.
padded jackets.
like if you need to shoot him a couple times, like whatever needs to be done to sell the illusion.
Look, just maybe once, twice tops.
Okay, guys, put your characters on the map. If you
I mean-
cannot, I will, but please do so.
Oh, my character's,
Daniel shouldn't be on the map yet.
my character's already on the map. It's right here.
Yeah, I know. So you two are on that part of the map. You can put your... The other two can put your... wherever you're going to start.
The NPCs are the two thingies over by the doorway. Or by the... Looks like a staircase.
These guys here and here.
Yes.
Flanky and flanky.
Yes.
You got it?
Flanky and Flanky. You mean the Flanky brothers that are actually like third cousins twice removed from Flaky?
Remind me someday to tell you about the cousin brothers.
Near.
Oh, no, for the record, it's just two brothers whose last name happens to be cousin,
Yeah.
which is funny still. But
Well, I mean, it has to happen because I'm sure I've heard that there are people with that surname.
You guys are in front of the manor. Once again, you see two guards in the front, watching the gate. There is
Yeah,
there's really not any other houses nearby. This is the only one on the street, and it's like basically a hill at the top. You see dead poppies on the left and the right because the gardener didn't feel like it was important enough to continue doing that during the winter.
I mean, that makes sense. Poppies are a very fall and springy flower.
Yeah.
Even I know that, and I'm not even a botanist.
So
I do, however, like poppies.
They've decided that. You also see a lot of crates outside.
Okay, like shipping crates? Or, like what I mean by shipping crates, are those like, big gold, like, 10 by 10 by 10, kind of cubes? Or are we talking various sizes? What kind of size
Various
crates?
sizes.
Okay. Does it look like they're like brand new? Like, what I mean by that, like new wood, great shape? Do they
Yeah,
look
they're
like
very new.
used?
They're very new.
Okay. Any stamps on them as far as like mailed or delivered from blank or any sort of like brand naming or anything like that?
Two guys movers would be the brand names on it.
New guys movers?
2 guys movers.
2 guys movers, copy. Okay. Alright, Mr. Flake, you are up.
Yep, Francis will approach him in full Pastafarian garb and be like, well, I see that people seem to be moving. So this is the perfect time to start peddling the religion again.
Go on.
So he walks up to the guards. Can I interest you guys in Pastafarianism?
You're not the same guy from last time that dealt with the other 2 guards, right? We heard about.
Yeah, and now it seems that there's some moving going on, so I'm gonna try again.
Well, yeah, it's time for us to go back.
Oh. Well, here's my card. Here's the Bible of the Pastafarians.
Excuse me. Pardon me, gentlemen. I apologize for the interruption. Mr. Krim, your attention, sir.
Francis turns to look at him.
Mr. Krim, how many times have we discussed this, sir? When you're trying to go to some sort of false idols instead of the one true God. Why would you go here and perchance to even deem to even speak the terminology of such a vile little reject of an idealism rather than speaking of what truly matters? I do beg your pardon, gentlemen.
He takes up his collar and waves it threateningly. You watch your tongue when talking about the flying spaghetti monster.
I do beg your pardon, gentlemen. I apologize for making such a scene in front of here, and you have to listen to such trash and drivel as being spoken by this usurper who at one time understood. I beg your pardon, gentlemen. I apologize for going on this, but I would like to at least get your understanding as far as what exactly is happening here. So please allow me to alleviate, so we can try to alleviate some confusion as far as to this one who decided that he wanted to toss away the one true gods. One here that we even spoken by us when on high can it be spoken, pushed, that we shall be granted salvation from his light. And yet this one chose to consume upon the darkness to a false idol of one made out of, shall we say, food items, sir? Please, gentlemen, can you please at least acknowledge the fact that this deserves one and only one type of response, sir? And that is with the most largest of belly laughs. So if you will, please excuse me. And please, and by all means, gentlemen, join me, because there is nothing so hilarious as some fool who decides to wear a condiment as a badge, and a piece and a bowl with holes in it upon his head, and calling it some sort of religious fervor. If this is not a joke, gentlemen, I do not know what it is, so please will you join me in belly laughing at what this pathetic fool, Mr. Krim, is here to deciding and wasting our time.
I don't know what to say. It was both interest. I mean, our interest was piqued when the guards were so excited about you last time. However,
You know what?
See, thank you, sir. That is the exact reaction that someone such as this revolves. When you try to toss away the one true God, the one single uno, sir, true God, and you would pass it away for a piece of... Pass it away, so you would toss away your salvation for a carbohydrate. Explain to me, sir, why is this not deserving for anything else other than the greatest of ridicule?
Because we don't do shit on Mondays.
well, even though you don't do shit on Mondays,
You know what? One of the guards immediately falls out into a chair, laughing his ass off at that response. Because he's now super
Really?
invested in this argument.
It is actually quite interesting. It's quite interesting argument, sir. When you try to hear, we don't do shit upon Mondays, which is quite interesting, being it is the first day of what? The work week. And what is the one thing when the gods came forward, and the one true God, the one single uno, must I remind you, sir, singular God, when he came forward and said that I shall work for these 6 days, sir, and I shall rest upon the great day of Sunday. Why? For it is the holy Sabbath, for upon which that we shall praise to him, and we shall go to him and thank him for his gifts toward us. But yet, no, you, sir, would follow someone, a carbohydrate, one made of flour and water and other various pieces of yeast, a germ, a disease, mind you, that creates a singular foodstuff, and you would come forward and try to say that no, we shall take this first day of work and we shall spit upon it and sit upon ourselves and do what? Praise to the sauce? Bring forth the great meatball? Or shall we go, or even better than that, shall you sail toward the seas of cheese that can be placed upon the great noodles? Or what other sort of fancy and ridiculous formats that you're capable of coming up with, sir?
Yes, well, at least I'm not part of a religion where everybody seems to think that the true God's name is Dave.
Excuse me, sir. When one speaks of the great God, one shall use his name with a proper affection, sir. One shall not go forward and praise be to the great one above. Can it be that you would come forward with me from somebody who would wear such a ridiculous thing upon their head and call it what? A holy symbol? A holy symbolized
cooks a possum.
A holy symbolized to what? For what? For hold of nothing? Or shall you fill it full of boiling hot water and place it upon your head for what? So maybe you could cook that noodle that's inside of your head that substituted the brain factor that you used to have, unfortunately, and yet you have tossed it all away for praise for something as foolish and ridiculous as this? Excuse me, sir, but these gentlemen right here, and praise to you, gentlemen, that you are able to see the ridiculousness with which this deserves, for no other attention, for none other than exactly this type of reaction, because the belly laugh of you, sir, and your sir, whose laugh is extremely infectious. Thank you, sir, for understanding and appreciating exactly the correct response to this situation.
Yeah, but I haven't even gotten to the best part. Pastafari in heaven. There's beer, blackjack, and hookers.
Hold on. At this point, the guard that is not fully committed to laughing his ass off at this, he shoves the door open at the back of him and shouts out, "Oi, Jimmy!" And you vaguely hear a voice in the background going, "Whoa! Get out of here! You gotta come here!" And like,
You gotta see this shit.
Later, the third guard appears at the door, and they leave the door open, and he's just standing there leaning on the door, like, "What's up?" And they basically just motion to this pair of assholes having an argument.
You sir,
you gotta watch this.
Over the Church of Dave and the
You,
freaking Pastafarianism.
You, sir, Mr. Jimmy, is it, sir? I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, sir. I do want to at least demonstrate the ridiculousness of the situation that these fine gentlemen have found and have accepted and seen it for exactly what it was, because this fool right here that has placed himself not only within from all of our eyes for his ridiculousness, and allow him to try to come here and just trying to sell, shall we say, come here to praise, to proselytize to us heathens, shall we say, upon what the great...
At least my heaven is more creative than the Church of Dave.
Oh, my heaven is more creative than the Church of Dave. Excuse me, sir, but are you so foolish and so close-minded to be brought in by the failure and the blindness with which you have taken for the lies that you have been fed. For such is nothing but the roots of all evil for which you have pledged your service to, for whose symbol you wear upon your head.
He
I am
puts the
trying
colander
to.
back
I am
on
trying
loudly.
to. I am trying to offer you a moment, sir. A moment here, not only to show to these fine gentlemen right here, but also to yourself, that the foolishness of the path that you have taken, sir. Now, please, gentlemen, may I ask you, and I apologize for being forward with this, for such a forward question, but for such a forward situation, a singular question only comes to mind, sir. Have you heard the wonders of the Church of the Great David, sir?
The three of them are kind of like, no, but you do notice that Jimmy is kind of looking at Francis because he recognized him. Like, Francis, you recognize this is the guy that was not really. He was close to being sold on the idea, but not super sold when you were around before.
You're back.
Yeah, I see you guys are moving. I see some people are moving, so I figured I'd try again.
Well, yeah, we're going back to the capital.
Wait, excuse me, sir. I beg your pardon, sir. Are you saying he's been here before, sir?
He was here the other day.
You were oh!
Yeah, I
Ah!
got two of them.
How? Oh. And as such, should I be surprised that the false prophets, the one who would stand before you with such lies and ridiculous lavation, would instead come here instead of prophetizing to the great one above, or the great one Dave, as of which, sir, I will be more than happy to explain. And he goes on, start going on to so I'm not taking it too much time. Start going on to the explanation of as I'm trying to increase my bullshit further and further as much as possible, and trying to draw it in so that way I can kind of, as I'm drawing all three of their attentions, trying to keep the comedy up a little bit, but also basically holding their entire attention, so hopefully the guys are able to slip in, insert door, window, whatever here, and
Climb up a drain pipe.
we've got all of them occupied and fucking around and whatnot.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's quite
Francis starts
clear.
it, and so the volcanoes shall flow with the finest of malt liquor.
Yeah, so it's quite clear that these guys are effectively enthralled by this. They love this. You definitely get the idea that effectively fuck all happens, and essentially these guys are basically bored shitless on their security thing because nothing happens, and they've got some street theater that's come to them, so they're actually quite happy with that. And because of that, the other two on the infiltration, depending on roles that come up, they're definitely going to get bonuses to that because these guards are not paying that much attention. The only interesting thing happening is right at the door.
Copy that.
And with that, we will head to the other side. Where are you all starting?
In the late 2200s, the Church of Dave eventually gives way to the Republic of Dave.
Yup.
For those of us upon the Dave know that the day shall come when the true usurper shall be made, and when the true usurper comes, he shall come with one singular name, whose letters will drip off of the foul one. For the foul one shall be spoken, his name singular. 3 letters whose mention shall burn into our souls, and the final battle shall come. For his name is next to God, and it is known as Bob.
I thought you were gonna go with the topical joke and say Don.
I was actually really hoping you were going to say Jim, because back in the day there were adverts for I believe it was the soft drink Tango, where after the whole thing
Yes.
with the you being tangled stuff, where people were getting slapped because kids were doing that and causing inner ear issues. The adverts were changed from a dude in orange slapping people to they started pitching the idea that in the universe of these adverts, there is a church of Jim, right? This random dude called Jim buys a thing of tango and becomes effectively like a Jesus insert for the church of Jim. And it's the way that it would go on a bit like you should buy this stuff because it brings you closer to Jim, and it would show you Jim in like a robe holding a staff, but it would actually be like the the lollipop thing for crossing guards, because that was the in-universe job he did, and people worshipped him. It was hilarious.
You're speaking of
People were going to say that this battle is going to be between the Church of Dave and the Church of Jim.
the Great Betrayer.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah, because these guys have done such a good job of making me laugh, and therefore also getting a couple of good behind-the-scenes roles on how people are reacting to this. You guys, for the purposes of roles, you both have a +1 to use on any role you want. Depending on how things go, you may roll, you may not. It depends how things go. But
Well,
you both
step-
have a +1.
Step one is we gotta sneak inside. So like,
Yes.
while that whole nonsense is going on, we just kind of, fake Sasquatch film walk in the background.
dun, 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 dun.
I mean, it is really loud how they're talking, so you guys have carte blanche at the moment. So where are you going? Where are you starting? First...
Well, ideally the exact same way that Nathaniel got in the first time, so I'm following him.
Okay, I believe that we did do a stealth roll but you kind of don't need to. It's.
I mean, placement-wise, it's the same place he snuck in at originally.
Yeah, you kind of are good to go to get to the second floor. So let me change this to the second floor.
Yeah, because Nathaniel made it in there easy before. So, yeah, you effectively can just follow the same path.
And so you head up the stairs, and do you see the red box?
Yes.
Alright, that is the box. That was the room you were in last time.
Mm-hmm.
And, so, Elle, and you are now in that room. It is quiet. There are no windows in this room. At all.
Well, step one, I guess, is open the box. First things first, actually, is I slap the shit out of Brad Pitt to shut him up, and then I open the box.
What's in the box? Ow!
Smack!
What's in the box? Come on.
Yeah, so you open the box, and are you like ripping it open? Or are you opening it slowly? What are you doing?
I mean, I don't need to just throw it off, fucking Kratos style somehow. We'll just slide it off.
I'm just checking, So yeah, as you lift it up, and some of because there is lighting in the room, obviously, so you can see what you're doing. As the light manages to get into the box, you see Dexter's son, lying on his back with one arm over his chest, like he looks like he's asleep. There's an ever so slight shift, which is mainly just like his head moving slightly to the side a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's waking up at all.
All right, well,
Looks like he might actually be comatose.
I'll hand Nathaniel the leg restraints. Like, we'll put the hand and leg restraints on first, and then deal with his mouth. Now, you know what? Deal with the mouth first. So,
All right.
quickly go to slide the no biting mask on.
Yeah, you were able to Hayden gave you guys the Hannibal Lecter mask. Like 1 second. Cause this would be a roll. So that's probably gonna be an act. Would it be an act under pressure?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
When in doubt, act under pressure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll go
She's
with
hanging
that.
Is it not going through now?
No, it is now. It wasn't before.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Because this seems pretty vital, I'm gonna just use that +1 here.
Fair enough.
I'm glad I did too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you're able to basically slip the mask around, but of course you've got to kind of lift his head with the back strap to secure it fully in place. And as you do, he opens his eyes, and there is the clear look of panic as he kind of There's that moment of like the flailing.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
of immediately, like, oh my god, what the fuck, happening.
We'll start talking to him. No, it's okay. We're gonna transfer you to another facility where we can make sure you're gonna get the proper care that you need. Unfortunately, we have to take precautions to make sure you don't attack us on accident.
All right, yeah, and that fully goes through. He there's that immediate. Initially, when you start talking, he continues to flail, and then the literal couple seconds pass, and he relaxes a lot, and he more just kind of seems a little confused as to why you have to put restraints on him. He's not entirely sure, but he's much more relaxed, and
Don't worry about it, don't worry.
you're able to slip the other ones on with effectively he's not fighting back. It's more that kind of looking as why are you doing that kind of thing.
So-
it takes like a couple extra seconds,
So
but you're able to get him.
yeah. But like as they slap on the rest of the strands of talk to me. So what's been done to you? Yeah. Unfortunately, there are certain viruses out there that can cause people to go into violent rages. Rabies is the most common one, by the way.
Yeah, when you say that, you hear a kind of muffled, I don't have rabies, do I?
No. You do not have rabies, but there are certain diseases that affect the brain in certain ways that make people act out violently, and this can come on. Snap their fingers like that, and this is for everybody's protection, yours as much as ours. Because when something like that happens, you can act in such a way that you hurt yourself.
He has that ever so faint kind of dazed look of the fact that he's basically being force manipulated here, and then he starts muttering something about, oh, that's right, the family dog. I remember that when I was really small. He starts muttering about the, in random research, you did find out that a dog that they had many years previous had rabies and went nuts and had to be shot back, and it was a big thing at the time because rich famous people in the government have dogs that can get rabies. Oh, they're just like us.
But they're not. But moving on.
Yeah.
All right.
And he seems complicit.
All right. Well, to make this easier on everybody, I'm going to carry you out. It'll be easier. It'll be much easier on you than trying to walk. So, if you can, just relax and try to go back to sleep.
You are in good hands.
And I'll
Yeah,
lift-
he gives
them
that
up into a
kind of
fireman carriage.
confused. Yeah, he gives that sort of confused. Okay, if that's the best. Like it just comes
And-
across as he's not sure why you're doing this, but he's not getting the impression of he should fight back. So he's complicit in the movement, and yeah, he's easily late enough that it's like nothing for L.
Yeah, throw over the fireman's carry, and we attempt to basically go out the same way we came in. See no reason not to.
Everything will be good.
Okay.
Dr. Phil has things under control.
We're still going to need another act under pressure for you to move out.
Really? You went with Dr. Phil, the controversial?
No, it's Dr.
Well,
Phil.
Everyone knows
Okay.
Dr. Field.
So, if Francis is there and is able to offer commentary,
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, you guys are rolling
No, this is the
initiative.
player coming back, hearing that, and being like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly, because you are still outside having an argument and waving a colander around.
Yes, and I've just come up with some nice lore for the Church of Dave.
Oh God.
Love
Okay,
it.
so these guys are going to be indisposed of for the next 5 hours.
what Nathaniel is trying to do is sort of hint to Al that it'd be a good idea to be using aliases.
I'm just not giving him a name.
There.
I love the idea that the very attractive androgynous person has picked up this kid, and the other bulky government agent looking brick shithouse is there with a kind of funky Russian accent.
Yeah, what are you
But-
doing, Nathaniel?
But, you know, he's being soothed, so he's okay with this. He's not terrified of the Red Menace.
What are you doing, Nathaniel?
You should be.
What are you doing, Nathaniel?
I am assisting Dr. Phil, however she needs.
Okay.
Act under pressure,
So
please.
Okay.
Alright, we're fine. Well, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing.
You are the
Yeah.
knight once again. You get through.
Except
Except
it's
it's the day.
Damn.
yeah, exactly. You are so much the knight, the sun
Nikolai.
cannot stop you.
Nikolai is cool as cucumber.
We are so distracting. To this
No,
point,
man.
Francis is. They
No.
just hear Francis shouting. At least I don't have a stupid song as my forbidden music.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Because Nathaniel has previous knowledge of getting in and out of this place quietly. It literally means that, you know, and also, you know, Nathaniel's likely been involved in a lot of things that he can't talk about because they're classified, which involve black bags, vans, and driving away quietly. He's aware of how to deal with someone struggling. And the fact that this kid ain't struggling just makes it so much easier for L to easily carry him and Nathaniel to, you know, leverage his previous knowledge on questionable entries into buildings in order to basically slip back out.
You know, this is the second time Nathaniel has gone through this manner on a 13.
Yep.
Well, we all know the mythos is that Nathaniel just can't fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Nathaniel gets Nikolai gets card punched as leaving. 3 more breakings and enterings, and he gets free ice cream.
Exactly. Keep in
What-
mind,
what
he's
the
got a stack. He's got a stack of these that have all been punched that require 3 times. He's gotten a lot of ice cream over the years.
Who is your
Yeah,
who
yeah,
is your
three more-
boss that you went through? My supervisor did not even give me
three,
such an
three
option.
more, three more cards, and you get 3 muffin baskets.
Look, Russian accent can be terrible. His child is not going to know difference.
Between the muffin baskets?
Yeah, as far as this kid's concerned, a strangely American-looking dude came in with a really thick Russian accent. Seems legit.
And a person dressed in dock workers' clothes with half their face covered.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil and Nikolai.
There's
We're
nothing
going
weird
to
about
send them
that.
on such a wild goose chase. It will
Do
be
not think
hilarious.
do not think I'm going to let you change the subject, comrade. Which did your supervisor tell you that you can get the free ice cream?
How do we consistently get here?
Oh, it was
Go
covered in the beer. He said it. He said, "I'm going to the place where capitalism doesn't exist yet." Space.
Yes.
The one place uncorrupted by capitalism. Space!
Yes.
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Too bad he's had like 3 strokes.
Godspeed, Jim
Yeah.
Curry. Godspeed.
I mean, he ain't dead yet.
by the power of Tim Curry, you guys are easily able to extract back out of the place, heading back out, and yeah, you actually expect that you would end up seeing like one of the guards doing the patrols as you're heading out. But then, yeah, as you head back down to the ground, you know, once you leave the room and are heading out, you can kind of hear the echoing of the extreme argument screaming about forbidden music in the Church of Dave and everything outside.
Nikolai. That reminds Nikolai. Dr. Phil. That bonus you got earlier, that was from advice given by Nikolai, correct?
I thought it was bonus granted by the crazy guys outside, but I guess technically this whole plan was on the advice of.
That is a good point. I was
Nathaniel?
completely forgetting that Nathaniel has that if he gives advice and you take it, you get a plus.
And Nikolai gives experience.
I mean, that's up to the GMs on how much of this counts for that, but like I can see it.
I'm willing to make the argument for.
Question.
It allows him
that
that
defines
this distracts from the current question which he has not had answered. Where did your supervisor tell you that you were able to get ice cream and I was not?
It is secret conversation with supervisor. You were not invited.
We shall have conversation about this in private, comrade. Is that rum?
I'm always guaranteed a good laugh with this group.
You telling me that's also rum raisin?
No, it's raisin rum.
It's raisin vodka. What do you think?
Even better.
La 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 la.
Without a hitch, you all managed to get the package, and well,
Get the fuck out.
At least Nathaniel and Elle get the package and get the fuck out. It's you two that now have to make your exit.
I
Yeah, well,
was actually
Francis is
gonna ride in the back with the kid to keep him calm.
Yeah, that's totally doable. Yeah, you guys are easily able to make it back across the open ground. That, yeah, in theory, if there was a guard walking around, you'd totally be rumbled. But they're all too busy watching the street theater
and
outside.
taking bets on what I'm just gonna throw the first
He is
punch.
expert in field.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys are able to head over. There's a gap in the bushes and stuff. You're able to slip back out, and Yeah, as long as you maintain
These guys are so fired.
as long as you maintain as long as L maintains like just randomly saying things, as long as the kid is within earshot, he's absolutely no problem.
Fired, lunch, what's the difference?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not fired. They're gonna disappear. Honestly, if they were smart, if one of them walks into the room, sees the kid missing, he'd run out to the other two, and be like, "Guys, we need to go. Like, don't tell anybody. Just leave."
Yep.
Yeah, this is why Francis is guys. Ow! Not me biting my tongue sneezing.
I mean, there's a perfect way to get out of the argument.
Yeah, now we
Ow.
100% have on record proof of you biting your tongue while sneezing, a thing that you said you never do.
No, you said laughing is when I bite my tongue. I never bite my tongue laughing. It's always sneezing.
I don't remember that, and I'm the GM. You get a -3 to everything now.
No,
Okay.
you just choke on your own airways when you laugh too hard.
I mean, I do that too. Yeah, but
So, are you actually going to end the argument by having a mock fight where potentially Vinny can grab you in a headlock and drag you outside to drown you in a river as far as the guards are concerned?
yep. Francis is going to take off his colander and just back at him with it.
Ooh.
Damn.
How are you going to respond to that, Vinny? Sorry, Mr. Whatever it was you said your name
Sir.
was. What was it,
You, sir, Mr. Krim. You, sir, Mr. Krim, have unfortunately.
Green.
You, sir, Mr. Krim, have managed to assault one of the faithful. And you understand very well what happens to the faithful. What happens to those who strike the faithful. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I do apologize, but you may want to look away. You will not want to see this.
Yeah, Francis does
They'll watch.
puts the colander back on loudly and gets in the fists up position with the 1 foot out doing the whole hopping thing. Oh yeah. Well, at least I'm not afraid of the song Daisy Bell.
Raises forward and kind of goes in like doing like the comic slapping of the face. So I'm obviously I'm obviously only lightly
Squaring
hitting.
off like old time pugilists.
Yeah.
Pretty
You're
much.
just like,
Thou
you're
shalt
something
not
that is-
take. Now thou shalt not speak the name of that foul mockery of what one speaks of as notes and tunes in my
The two
presence.
guys that have been here, the two guys that have been here from the very start that were already on the door, they're now sitting there like having a quick shoulder-to-shoulder convo that you can just make out that it's basically they're betting on who's going to win the fight.
So yeah, you're seeing like money
Yeah,
change hands.
at
You see?
this point-
Yeah, one of them's leaning over, puts his hand up. He's not really covering his mouth, as he's just sort of putting his hand up randomly, and it's like, I got $5 on the guy with colander. Oh, really? No, seriously, I think that other guy's got it.
I'm in. I'm in. Put me in for 10. Put me in for 10. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we kind of.
The one guy who had a sort of bowler hat on, he takes it off. They start throwing in some random change.
Allow me to speak this word, sir. When one speaks, it dares to strike one of the faithful. Goes in like a big exaggerated slap on the face. Backhand.
You see, this is why we must move you. One of early symptoms of rabies. rampant
Allow
stupidity.
this to be said, sir. Allow this to be said, sir, in the witness of those who also follow his faithful. And as I reach my hand back towards the rest of the guys, and allow it be said, sir, that such an insult shall not ne'er be spoken. Nay, I've come here to try to grant with the hand of peace. I raised the folded hands of peace, extended the hand for friendship, and yet you have given me nothing more than just a spat in the eye of your spoken words. So no, sir, you shall no longer have the folded hand of peace, but the backhand of pure justice, and let Bob himself be spoken through words to my actions, and let you breathe forth, and let it speak now! now, as the spittle leaves your lips, and you shall understand as your face hits upon this grass and stays upon there, that his wrath shall be spoken on high and on forth of Lord God. Shall it be spoken? Shall be spoken thus, and allow this. Bam! Puts an exaggerated left leg.
Shit.
Yeah.
And allow this be
As
spoken.
we're driving away, Nikolai looks at Elle and is like, next we're driving away, Nikolai looks at Dr. Phil and is like, should we eventually send someone to tell them that it's
No, what's the other thing?
No, they'll
Are
figure it
they
out.
just going to be there until they're told to leave?
No, at this point,
Hit the horde as we leave, I guess.
At this point, Francis just grabs Vinny, throws him to the ground, and does the whole rolling across the ground thing from like cartoons or whatever.
Yeah, where we're struggling, like
You kick up this huge amount of dust.
dust grass.
Yeah, there's like the little explosion gifs. There's biff, pow, and smack comes up in Comic Sans font.
Allow this to be spoken,
Every
sir.
guard takes 10 damage from the use of Comic Sans.
As immediately.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Stand back your words, sir. Face not the foot of justice, but the backhand of the Lord.
And what about the foot?
Then take the calendar, the mighty.
What about the foot of war?
Playing Skin Monster has a name.
The foot of justice versus the backhand of the Lord.
Oh god, I gotta put that in the quotes. That is a good one.
I'm allowed one good one a year. One tops. Two tops.
We have somehow managed to start a religious war comedically. Yeah, so the pile of dust gets kicked up, and they start rolling towards the gate.
Oh, but it's going on and on and on. It just seems to be going back and forth, and it just gets more comical and
As
more
we
ridiculous.
edge our way towards the gate and out of the property.
I'm kind of laughing about this. I'm waiting for the guards to go. So who won? Well, actually, technically, he got the last hit in. So therefore, they're back there arguing who won the bet.
That's when the third guy walks up, takes all the money. I won. I didn't bet on this. Get the fuck back to work.
Yes, indeed.
Really the most correct answer.
Like literally, as you guys are rolling around the corner in your mock fight, you do actually notice that other guy picking up his hat, flipping it onto his head, walking in as the other two are like, "Where the fuck are you going?" The chair falls over. They're chasing him inside.
Yeah, Francis will get up, help Vinny, give him an ice pack for where the colander hit him, because it's a metal colander. I don't think plastic colanders have been invented yet.
Not considering plastic hasn't been invented yet, so no.
I think plastic is like in the very early stages at this point.
I don't even think
Yeah,
Bakelite's out yet.
Yeah, plastic exists, but it's not used for anything in the way that it is now.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does
there's still like there are top men sitting in an office going, "How could we sell this to people?"
Bakelite was invented in 1909.
Yeah, and then in about 12 or so years. No, actually, it'll be slightly more. And sometime within the next 20 years, some guy called Kalashnikov will come along and use it for making magazines.
I know this
And
question.
yes, dear viewers, that is the one place you have seen Bakelite. Is the magazines for the AK-47, the kind of orange ones.
Yep. That is accurate.
Yes, that's why I said it, because it is probably the one place you can guarantee someone has seen it. Because not only is it the most ubiquitous firearm in the world, it's also been in so many movies, TV shows, hell, adverts, newspaper articles.
I mean,
Chances are almost everyone in the world has seen
Okay,
an AK
what
at
does
some point.
any of this have to do with the ongoing issue? I know you want to brag about how you know this fact, but we can save that
Say
for
anything
later.
about bragging about weird facts.
Yes.
You missed out 3.5 years of fucking. Oh, I like apples. Tell me about your apples. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you guys are able to make it back
All I've
out.
been being forced to roleplay with an NPC.
You weren't under any kind of force.
Could have just been like, nope, I'm out of here.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, if anything, you were the one forcing Karsa to do that, and she was the one falling for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that laugh just confirms that 100% move.
Yeah.
I like how she's not denying it.
Not denying it.
Yeah.
Karsa's been played like a fiddle.
Well. So anyway, yeah, you guys
the
are
fiddle
able
is a
to.
complicated instrument to play.
Yeah, well, so yeah, you guys are able to slip away with the kid in the back being kept calm, and yeah, the other two are able to slip away from the fight because essentially, yeah, once the guy picks up his hat and bolts back into the house, yeah, the other guards go after him. You can kind of hear a little bit of shouting and stuff, but then it all kind of calms down, and you're able to quietly make your way away and rendezvous wherever.
I mean, yeah, it's not like the first place they're going to look is inside the coffin. I'm sure they were told not to touch under any circumstances.
Well, when you were observing the house before, it's the one place that it seemed like they didn't go.
Yeah.
Which is lucky enough for you either way.
Yeah, exactly.
I somehow managed to pull a bit into 2 episodes. I feel accomplished.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys doing? You're currently in 2 groups leaving this location. Are you meeting up? Are you going your separate ways to never be seen again?
Head back to the archives. Heading exactly back to where we were saying we were going.
Yeah, pretty much. I was about to say, we fell through a time warp and ended up in 1939.
Fell through a time warp. Would you end up in the 70s?
No, that's
Okay.
a time tunnel.
No, that's only if you fall through the time warp again.
Ah,
Yeah,
you're right,
yeah,
you're right.
Hmm.
Because it's a jump to the left. And then a step to the right.
Okay, no.
Uh-uh.
No.
Copy,
Right,
bad.
quick, disconnect.
Enough. Guys, let's
Yeah,
stop
you
this.
head back to the archives.
Bring our knees in tight.
So yeah, when you get back to the archives, sensibly you pull in around the back of the building where they've got the like loading area type thing that allows you to get into. There is a spot that's set aside for effectively doing like holding cells, essentially, for anything that they need to bring back and keep under lock and key for a time. And as you pull in, Hayden's standing there with a few of the other randos that work for Waystone, basically waiting on you guys returning. So, what do you do?
Well, open up the back, and I'll actually let the kid walk at this point. That'll help keep him calm.
All right. Yeah, he basically follows commands, essentially.
I
So
will
he'll-
quickly go ahead and prepare our arrival as soon as we get inside. Okay, so I'm Nikolai. I speak the Russian accent. L is Dr. Phil. Everybody got it? We need fake names.
Yeah, Hayden just kind of looks at you a little bit confused, like, what did you do?
We kidnapped the Dracula child. Get with the program.
Yeah, I know what you were attempting to do, but like, what happened?
We have the Dracula child, but we're trying to conceal our identities because we do not want to be suspects for the kidnapping of a cabinet member's child.
Fair enough.
So
And
fake names.
Russian accent was your first idea in America, Kyle.
Yeah, he motions to one of the other guys that's with him and points over to L and just says like, show him down to the holding room. Yeah, he basically sends that guy to, lead L and the kid down to where they've got a room which effectively works the same idea. It's been set out as like a basic bedroom with a couple like things for them to effectively recreate the like the lab setup they had in the manor, basically so they can monitor the kid. They've got that set up, and when you head down there, Ashley's just coming out, like having done some sciencey stuff, real quick for reasons.
Oh, that could be so problematic. Never move on. If I remember after session, I'll let you know. Move on.
Do we? I'm confused.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just go.
Francis will go to Nathaniel. And your first idea was Russian accent in America, comrade?
Yes! There's full-on communist scare going on right now. Half the reason the BOI exists is to hunt out suspected communists in high-ranking American positions. Literally, that's half of what I spend my time doing when I'm actually working for them.
Wouldn't it have been less conspicuous to go for a German accent, yeah?
No, we're not at war with Germany. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that war ended, man.
Germans are weird.
Honestly, they kind of got dealt a bad hand in Treaty of Versailles.
So did you
I was
guys
just
catch
going to
any of our
ignore
fight?
all of this and continue
Damn it.
walking the kid to the room.
Let me get this straight. You have the... Ah, I see that you have the boy. Okay. So...
Again, recommend use fake name and strange accent.
You're telling this in front of the boy.
I ran in well ahead of them.
Oh, okay.
Well, Ashley
Yeah,
wasn't
he did,
in
yeah.
that initial group.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, no, sorry.
Yeah, the whole thing is, I'm picturing this as you come into a loading area and Elle with the kid and the other rando has headed off down to the actual, to Waystone itself, right, under the archives, headed down there to the secure area with the kid. Ashley was prepping that room, she's now left that room. Kid can now be put in that room and kept secure. In the meantime, everyone else is still up in the upper area at the back, can be either in the loading bay area with the truck or have just entered like the main building. Whichever, it doesn't matter. Like, the kid is away, you don't actually need to continue doing the Nikolai voice.
I was just not saying anybody's name.
Yeah.
Because we're in America, they would expect these guys to have American accents.
No, she's definitely got an American accent. She has actually what's called a North Atlantic accent.
Okay, for the record, guys, American accents consist of like 30 different regional variants. North Atlantic is considered one of the American accents, for the record. But
They would. Okay,
Isn't the
fine.
North Atlantic accent basically the
It's
Wanna
your
get-
accent.
accent?
If you want to
Okay, yeah,
get into
like-
the weeds about this, he would expect the accents to be from the area he's in.
Yeah, everyone in the whole place has accents.
I just can't make it right now. I've been trying and I
Yeah, like,
fail
the-
every time.
The point being, you don't have to continue doing the accent to trick the kid because he's away.
okay, good. Ah, I was rough on my voice.
All right. So what happened? What do you suspect? Now that you've seen the boy.
Well, I suspect those gods are going to be out of a job. I also suspect that Francis might want to lie low for a while. Doesn't take a genius to figure out. I suspect that Francis and Vinny would want to lie low for a while. Doesn't take a genius to figure out that they were probably a distraction.
I have really no thoughts about this. I went in to pick up a kid and did exactly that. Responded to being touched, so that's why he's awake.
So he was touched by an angel?
Yes, if you want to get in theory. Although, granted, not that way. Not that way either. Or that one.
Well,
Anyway.
Francis will look at them.
Anyway, look,
This is why I wore a mustache.
We got the kid now. We got the kid now. We got the tiger by the tail. You guys said you had a way to potentially, cure him of his ghoulishness, though, admittedly, that might just, return his original disease. We did not think this through.
No, I did. I asked.
Okay.
That was one of the first. That was something I asked in the session.
Very well could return the disease. We are not
Well, that
totally
is better than
positive
Dracula,
because we've never had to deal with a ghoul before, other than killing them.
Actually, I was gonna. I'm like, is it a ghoul a thing that eats dead people?
I don't know what they call them. Half vampire?
Legends typically refer to them as thralls.
Thralls?
Alucard?
Oh, thralls.
No,
So-
Alucards are Dracula kids.
Renfield. Got it. They're Renfields.
Renfield.
Wasn't Renfield a familiar?
All right, fine. What was the German variant?
Okay, short version. There's a bunch of different lores of these, and they don't really have a proper name, mostly because nobody cared.
Alright, here's the first thing I'm going to do.
Hayden turns up at the back of the group and it's just like, yeah, we don't really have one specific term. We have
You're not.
over 1,000 years of several hundred books, and most authors have their own terminology for a lot of these things. A lot of the stuff is still incredibly vague.
Oh. Here's the thing, the whole blood science part, that's all you guys. I
So
did
is
my
he
part.
an Alucard or a Renfield or a Nock?
I don't know yet. I'm going to find out how far he is progressed in both his illness and in this, shall we call it a disease, a blood disease, and see if there's any way of saving him. Or are we just giving him a slow death?
I mean, worst case scenario,
I mean, he
we've
was
got
technically getting a slow death of being turned into a Dracula before.
Well, yeah.
This kid has the worst luck, just jumping from one slow death to the next.
I mean, worst case scenario, we've got a bunch of spellbooks and grimoires around here. We can always try something from one of those.
Nope. Not happening.
Yeah, Hayden kind of looks around the side of where he's standing nearby and looks at Francis like, no, that's a bad idea.
I kind of think that's how we got in. I suspect that's how we got into this situation in the first place.
My suspicion is that possibly his father was looking for any way to save his son. And he just so happened to find the one bad way that could save his son.
No, not the one bad way, but
A one
let's
bad way.
change your point.
Yes. So now I need to figure out how far along he is.
Well, we've got the research notes, so cross-reference time.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's an interesting question. Like, what are the stages? Like, is it measured in days, months, trimesters? What's the...
Are you talking about the polio virus? Or are you talking about the other one?
Well, both?
Well,
Hayden will point out that it's a case of we don't know. Most of the text that we're working from is over a century old.
I will
Well,
tell you that
I mean,
people...
we've only recently discovered the fact that we have blood types.
people with polio can survive many, many years but they're in like a paralytical state.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's definitely going to cut his options down.
So
He'll never run for president. Polio.
There's every possibility. Yes. There's every possibility that the polio disease may stay where it is. It's possible maybe whatever healing this is doing has, done what it needs to do. So effectively, because there is a difference in the levels, so it's possible if we bring him down, he may return to normal. Whether or not that allows the polio to continue doing what it's doing, unfortunately, if that happens, that happens.
Well, couldn't you?
If he continues and goes into full vampirism, I'll put a bullet in his head myself if necessary.
I just realized something. I don't really know a lot about Dracula's or polio. I leave him in your capable hands.
It's probably
Right.
the best. And he reaches over and pats Ashley's shoulder because she is the one that knows the most about all that stuff.
I can tell you they still don't have a cure for polio.
Oh, don't give him your name. If you have to give him a name, give him a fake one.
Call me Dr. Sabin.
No.
No?
Dr. Sayus.
No.
What?
No. No.
No!
What do you want to call me?
To simply give you your title.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Doctor.
No, we are simply going to give you your title.
Strange.
Doctor.
Dr.
No.
Strange.
Okay, that's it. Hayden immediately pulls out the suitcase nuke and ends the campaign right here.
All right. Go to bed.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, he will point out. No, we are simply going to use your title.
Okay.
You are the lead researcher.
Yeah.
That's all that. He doesn't even need a name
Okay,
unless
so we're
unless
just going to
we
call you-
get to that
just
point.
call you Doctor. So basically, we're just going to call you Doctor.
Just call me Doctor.
That'll work.
Yeah. Okay, but when he asks Doctor Who,
Then we're going to throw him in a police box and throw him in the
and this
river.
is when L just tackles Nathaniel from the side.
You do not speak of that asshole.
Who?
Exactly.
Exactly. I'll go get a sandwich.
So I guess it's a good thing that my title is already Professor.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. You're the professor. There you go. Boom. Right, I got an AFK. I'll be back.
So all I need is a candlestick and a conservatory.
We also need a plum outfit.
He has one.
Yeah, literally, this was
I
established.
got an uncle of mine.
when we-
I got an uncle of mine. He used to wear yellow suits. Was in
He was
the
a colonel?
military. He was in the military, actually. Yeah.
Oh. Did he
How did
did he sell important parts from airplane radios?
Oh, fascinating. How'd you know that?
I mean, he is a member of the boy.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think we're blackmailing him?
Yeah, I hear there's a mansion not far out here run by a Mr. Body.
Mm-hmm.
God, I will never forgive Clue for that.
Nathaniel, can I see your Tommy gun for a minute? Fascinating.
Why, sure.
All three of you. I know, just to make sure I take Vinny's shotgun.
We guys talk about gun?
Oh, that would be one hell of a way to end the campaign.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Elle just John Wicks her way out of her way out of the freaking archives.
Just
No,
like I've had
Makes it
my
worse
time-
the entire time this is occurring. Not one of us will have a clue.
The thing is, all the
Hey.
NPCs would be on my side.
Also, yes.
In the meantime, while Ashley has gone away to take a little bit of the kid's blood, call her doctor, and okay, this is for your own good.
Doctor,
Let's get
no,
a
Doctor, no.
baseline.
Francis backhands Nathaniel.
We do that. Might as well call her Goldfinger.
Mm.
Go blow up the.
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
God, that was such a stupid plan, even by Fleming standards.
Anyway, as we were speaking, she is taking care of that part, and she's away for a little while, and then she'll go back into her research lab. In the meantime, what are you all doing? Because at this
Getting a
point,
drink.
there's nothing else you need to
Yep,
do.
getting a drink.
Okay.
Francis is going to go and find a radio and more more mysterious murders happening.
Ah. Surprisingly, you know of the 5.
Which means there's still 2 more to go.
Well, it's only
In
been
theory.
a day since you last looked
Wait.
into the murders.
How did we get to 5? I only know 4. That's including the one you mentioned earlier.
Okay, maybe it is 4. You have gluttony, pride. Let me look up the list.
We had sloth, I believe, already.
Oh no, there are 4. Only 4 so far. Yeah. You know of gluttony. You know of
Oh no, it was pride, wrath, gluttony,
lust,
and I forget what, and lust.
which
Was it Wrath?
That's one that was mentioned last week.
Have
No.
we
The
done
doctor was
this?
greed.
no, it was greed.
Was it? I guess one wrath was brought up.
I don't think we've done Wrath yet.
Have we?
Yeah. Because the doctor was selling gray market at a minimum.
Gluttony was
for greed.
Melanie Schumer, who was doing
Yep.
something in her bakery and ended up falling
she was gluttony.
dead into a pie.
The ex-prostitute was lust, and the TV or the radio guy was pride.
Yeah. So 4. You're correct. 4.
Still missing
Sloth,
wrath, sloth, and
envy.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's why Francis has gone to listen to a radio. I know it's only been a day, but you never know.
We had this entire discussion about how police radios are very, very not widely used.
Yeah,
no.
it's not police radios, it's just news forecasts about, or newscasts about mysterious murders.
Well, one thing you do hear on the radio is that there are going to have a new casting for The Shadow. And that they're holding auditions for it.
Hmm.
People say I have a voice made for radio.
Yeah, you have a face made for radio as well.
That phrase hasn't been invented yet.
Francis, come here. Come here, I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Come here.
I'll just boost Francis towards you.
We also do hear that unfortunately in Boston and quite around, the price of sweets have gone up.
Oh no.
Rather expensive because and that unfortunately Schumer had to close, or they closed the factory for a little bit. until they can figure out what's going on. You would possibly hear of a break-in in the morgue.
Francis, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. Ask him.
We didn't break into the morgue, if I remember correctly. We asked and we asked questions and were told the answers.
Yeah, he pulled rank. It was quite amusing too. I had to demonstrate my colorful smoking.
Well, that's all you hear. Is there was a break-in in the morgue.
Was it the morgue we
That
went
would have
to?
been
Yes, it
after we-
was. It was the same morgue.
Oh boy. Well, anybody for a field trip?
We already made that joke.
Why?
Did we? Make sure
If they mentioned there was a break-in, did they say anything about, like, there's something or someone missing?
The police are investigating a body is missing.
Okay, now let's be clear here. Okay, well, do they list any, like, suspicions? Because with what we've seen, we cannot discount the possibility it wasn't a break-in, but rather a breakout.
That is a possibility.
So is there any information about, like, where, like, you know, someone, the intruder entered, blah, 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 blah?
No, they do not know. It's an ongoing investigation. They cannot figure out how it was done.
Then I think we ought to go and investigate.
I mean, this could also just be a completely normal B&B. Like, do we really want to be stretching ourselves and our attention this thin when we have a kidnapped a cabinet member's son in the other room?
I mean,
I suppose it may be worth it to just send someone to see, like, okay, was it any of these bodies that we're investigating that are now missing?
Does the morgue have a phone?
yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Didn't ask you.
They do have a phone.
Thank you. I go get the phone from the archives, and I call the morgue. Hey, Vinny, can I borrow your badge?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, L is going to have Vinny's badge. You will get an operator. Operator?
I need you to put me through to the county morgue? City morgue. Which one was it?
City morgue.
City.
The city morgue.
Of course. One moment, please. And after a few moments, you do get patched in. Boston Morgue.
Yeah, this is Officer DeLuca. Badge number. I list off a badge number that's similar to Vinny's, but not the same.
Okay.
I just needed it to know the length.
Okay. How can I
Calling
help
about
you?
that break-in. Called you about the break-in.
Oh.
I need to make sure one of my bodies is there.
Alright. Which
So
body
I
are you
need-
looking for?
That's unfortunately a little above your pay grade at the moment. I need you to give me a what body went missing.
And she takes, and they take a moment. Right. Maxine Summit.
All right, not mine. Thank you. I'll
Now,
hang up.
L.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So,
You
I'll head
see
back
how
out.
you can do voices with the best of them.
I'll go back. Wasn't Schumer. Was one of our others though.
One of the others? I'm sorry, I actually never got a list.
Yeah,
L-
and I have a
L-
pretty good
Yeah.
clue who did it.
Is the person that's supposed to be coming after you?
No.
Oh.
You can let this one go.
Hey. Is it the Mafia?
I'll go get the drink.
In other words, he's not gonna tell you.
In other words, I missed that episode. I don't get to know unless I watch it.
Oh, the name has been around quite a few times.
Has it? Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm back, by the way.
But I'll flip Vinny's badge back to him. Don't worry, didn't use your number. I just needed it so I knew the proper length.
Appreciate that. What'd you find out?
Well, it is one of the Sin Slayer bodies that's gone missing, but it wasn't anything related to that. Full disclosure.
What do you mean?
God, why can't I never remember this man's name?
Richie.
Yeah, Richie more than likely did it. He wanted one specific body and got the one he wanted.
What did he want with it?
It was his fiance. Probably wanted to bury it himself, or raise it as a zombie.
They have that ability?
Normally I'd say no, but with the rise of all the crazy shit that's been going on in the city recently, I'm gonna go with the possibility exists.
Fair enough.
It isn't worth looking into at the moment. Because if it had anything to do with the actual Sin Slayer, it wouldn't have taken one of the bodies, they would have taken both.
I suppose that's fair. There wasn't anything, like, racking my memory, there wasn't anything extra unusual about her particular body, was there?
Just the location that somehow we missed it when we were doing our sweep of the castle. But
Asking the voices, like I said, just making...
Okay, so basically, it was on the radio. If you want to, I'm gonna help Nob figure out what was going on. They were listening to the radio, and one of the things that was brought up on the radio is that there was a break-in in the morgue, and they decided to call the morgue, and found out it was Maxine Summit, aka the ex-fiance of Richie.
And was this radio?
This was radio, but
Yeah,
the name wasn't.
Francis decided to go and listen to. Francis decided to go and find a radio to go and see if there were any more.
That's amazing. Are you talking about like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. So with that, they were looking into seeing if Schumer was still there, and the body of Schumer is still there. So.
But Richie apparently has the power to break into the morgue without getting caught.
I mean,
This isn't still alive. It's fine.
no. I mean, is that really the thing that's getting you, considering we just broke into a cabinet member's house,
You know what? Fair.
ran out with a person?
Not to mention, he could grease
Yeah.
a lot of fingers.
I just really hope someone out there at one point in the future will listen to this, hear that still life comment, and know exactly what I'm talking about. that would be amazing. And if you happen to be that one person who got that reference, good.
You want to repeat that comment? Because I would love to hear it again.
Don't worry, this isn't still life. That was literally what he said.
He's not gonna repeat that in case people start backtracking, and 20 years later he gets assassinated by someone who knows still life.
Oh, you were talking to me. No, I said in case you got that, get a life.
All right, now in 20 years you're going to be assassinated by someone that gets butthurt about that.
Oh, I'm going to be assassinated for so many reasons. Don't you worry about why I'm getting assassinated.
All right. Anything else happen that day?
I mean, Francis is going to go touch up his false mustache. Yes, that is his disguise. A colander and a false mustache.
Okay, so that's a -1 to the style and wardrobe.
Wrong game.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, I picked my level up thing, by the way. I gave myself an extra point in charm.
Okay.
How
What are
charming.
you at 0 now?
No, I'm at 2.
Oh no.
Wait, you're
You gotta try it.
so charming that you can actually. Wow.
Well, I had 1 charm.
I mean, to be fair, right? To be fair, you could be considered charming someone if you are simply being so crazy they can't look away. I mean, that's how most celebrities do it.
And now you're gonna get assassinated by the League of Celebrities.
Oh, dude, I'm probably on like at least 18 government depopulation lists. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, apparently the flake just already comes with 1 charm.
Honestly, I think that's actually their intention. Is like you can effectively play up your craziness to the point that people take
Find you
notice.
endearing.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, it's like you're a car crash that's so bad they can't look away kind of idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that is still a form of charming.
It is.
Fair.
From a horror child. No.
Hey, I mean, to a degree, right? To a degree,
Mhm.
that's the whole thing about like Dracula's being charming, is that they are supposed to have this otherworldly charm about them. It doesn't actually depict them. It doesn't actually define that charm as being like attractiveness as such.
Mhm.
Like
Hell.
partially, you can qualify like terror
Oh, but
as
Dracula's
Most
no,
of Dracula
but
defines
it's not really.
Dracula as somebody who makes
But
him
Dracula's
uneasy,
no,
but he
but if
can't
we're
look
talking
away.
about Louis or Lestrade's, then yes.
I mean, hell, the narrator for Dracula literally defines Count Dracula as being kind of unsettling, but surprisingly charming.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
pretty
there's
sure
something
that's the
endearing about
actual.
him.
Yeah, that's the way that they're talking about it. It's not that, oh my god, so beautiful. I want to, get in the pants of that. It's not an attractiveness based on beauty. It's that je ne sais quoi of this is weird, but I can't not pay attention kind of thing.
You intrigue me
Or,
strangely.
yeah.
Okay,
Can't go
considering I would like to continue with this game, what are you guys doing while you're waiting for research? While you're
Going about my normal life.
waiting for this the effects of the kidnapping?
Well, the radio stays on.
Okay.
I don't know,
I
think of
they're,
some
they're going
1950s.
back to their normal life.
So, drinking, being a bodyguard, being a club owner. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
we've
Nathaniel...
we've kind of hit a point in all of our investigations where we're waiting on either new things to happen, or like existing things to finish.
Right.
Okay.
So, Nathaniel, what can you tell me about the radium stuff that you've picked up?
Oh, all sorts of wonderful things. Yeah, try some chewing gum.
No, thank you.
I've been sprinkling
I
it on your
know.
sandwich every day for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
I believe I would know if people were. It does have a very distinct taste.
You completely
We
cut
cut
out on
to
that.
we cut to like 2 weeks ago we cut to like a week ago when you were having lunch, and somebody walks like, oh god, who would be assisting with this?
He's
Elle walks
sitting
by
there.
and, like, cracks you with
Yeah,
a
he-
conversation. Meanwhile, Nathaniel's putting on these like gigantic lead-lined gloves and like very carefully.
What we see is Francis sitting there having a cup of tea, and he's got like a plate of food, and in the background you can see a suspiciously brick shithouse-looking government agent with the gloves on, trying to fit a set of white chef gloves on over the top of them that are way oversized, with the chef's hat, and then comes walk out, still wearing the trench coat. Just walks out, waits until one moment, he looks to one side, walks around the other side, and tips something that looks suspiciously like a salt shaker, but is faintly glowing, all over the food, and then casually walks away.
Good old Cherenkov radiation.
Well,
Yeah, we cut to 18 months in the future where Francis is sitting there, like, stroking his fake moustache that's somehow now part of him, as his jaw falls off, and he goes, "Ah, her." Because he can't exactly go, "Oh, that's weird," when his jaw's fallen off.
Yeah, because you kind of need the bottom jaw for that.
Mm.
okay, after kidding like that.
So yeah,
we are.
so the basic thing is anyone expressly doing anything during that time? I'm assuming the answer is no.
That seems to be correct.
Considering L's still 4 harm in, no.
Yeah.
How do you
Well-
heal harm?
It just takes time.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's good about that is effectively not much happens in the way. You're able to get enough quote unquote sleep that you will heal up over the time, because
However,
essentially nothing actually comes across the radio, but you do have one point where Hayden will basically collect the group. It's like 3 days overall go past, and Hayden collects up the group and explains. So the guys I've had watching the manor, there has been a little
Upheaval.
yeah, you could say that. After you guys picked up the kid, when Dexter returned, immediately every guard was all over the place. That entire building has been ripped apart looking for where his son is.
I mean, we kind of expected that.
Yeah. Few of my contacts have, returned information that he's looking at a lot of the underground criminal groups. Effectively, Ricci's disappeared because he really apparently doesn't want the government looking at him too closely with itchy trigger fingers, which Dexter has going
Fair.
around trying to find everyone. Yeah, Nathaniel, you also get mention of there's a lot of activity very suddenly they're trying to keep quiet, but like obviously a lot of suits turning up to do a kidnapping investigation is not exactly something you can really cover up when there's like 50 dudes turn up on a train one day, seemingly out of nowhere. And Elle, you get a few people mentioning during times when you're at the bars and that they've seen a bunch more people looking like government agents, guys in suits and sunglasses, being a lot more visible recently, and various police contacts are really not happy about discussing anything about the added federal numbers appearing in Boston at the moment. And basically say this would be a good time for all of us to be careful, just in case. As far as I'm aware, no one outside of this immediate
Now, how many-
group knows
Yeah.
about our involvement.
How many days afterwards is this? Like, how many days do we cut ahead for this?
3.
3.
3? As I said, now would be the time to be careful. We like camera pans to Nathaniel's wagon, where he and Francis have been in the process of like attaching flags and extra sirens and all sorts of things. Well,
Yeah, you've got an entire 3-ring circus set up on the roof, and damn, all that effort dashed.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
just
'cause
finished
the whole
painting it for Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, because the whole thing being, like, the first day and a half, essentially nothing. Absolute silence in regards to it. There was no, other than the Dexter having his guys rip apart the mansion, effectively nothing else happened. Until basically the next night, where shit tons of federal agents started appearing. So then, yeah, on day 3, that's okay, right, yeah, so they are definitely looking all over the place, so nothing can tie back to this. You know, obviously
as
nothing
a part
does,
of,
but you never know.
as a part of maintaining a degree of plausible deniability, Nathaniel just makes some common requests to his other contacts and like, hey, I've noticed a lot more feds around here lately. Is anything going on? Like,
Yeah, when you are you like phoning up the agency, or are you actually going in to the local field office?
oh, this would just be like a phone call.
Yeah, so the agent on the other end.
Doing this to maintain plausible deniability, because
Yeah.
that would be concerning. Why are all these like it's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to double check how you were making contact. Yeah, the agent on the other end of the phone, who sounds kind of pissed, but he's not pissed at you. He's like, yeah, we've had an absolute shit ton of calls coming in. Apparently, someone lifted Dexter's kid, and basically everyone's being called in to search for him. Effectively, everyone other than our field agents. Like, we're supposed to be acting as a call center for them right now if they get anything coming in.
all right.
Nathaniel literally gave his coworkers more work to do.
Pretty much.
Damn. All right. Well, I hope they find the kid. Tell you what, if you need my assistance with anything, bring me out.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this is going to blow over quite soon, but, probably won't. We'll be like this for a week. Alright, anything else to report? Because, I'm assuming this convo happens, in the middle of you being reporting, yeah, totally doing my job, and here's what I've found, which is all made up.
Also, what's up with all these extra agents I'm seeing around there? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Any word on how Dexter's taking it?
He is incredibly fucking angry.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. He's taking it the way you'd expect.
Well, all I can suggest is, do your job the best you can and keep your head down.
Yep.
We should be
Same to you.
telling you
Not
that.
would not want to be one of the men on guard detail, let me tell you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
And
the
they
entire
never tell
vibe
you
is
those-
that yes, the agency is effectively locking down basically all of their personnel that they can spare, because the BOI has its own objectives, but
Oh.
effectively anyone who's not currently tasked is basically being pulled to provide support for this.
Yeah. I mean, also, we've got preparations for the secret election coming up, so.
Yeah.
All of the extra stuff.
Yeah, all of those people that are in the process, making fake ballots for the correct choice. They're some of the few, along with the field agents, who are being left to continue their work.
No. I'm not talking about the rigged election. I'm talking about the secret election. No,
Oh,
we
you're
choose-
talking about that one.
Yeah, when we choose secret president.
Yeah. Yeah, long live the lizard overlords.
Yeah.
You are the Lizard Queen.
No, this is where you get the guy that loses in the vote. He's sacrificed, but he has to tell them that they're a beautiful butterfly, and then gets his brain eaten. So don't lose.
Oh, what a wonderful tea party.
Okay. Also, during the vote, is there anything else that you would like to tell the boy?
I don't think there is really.
Yeah, honestly, okay. Is anyone looking into these sin murders?
Oh, that thing. We've had a couple people looking at the symbols. A couple researchers think it might be something to do with the sins themselves. Honestly, it's kind of back burner at the moment. We did have someone looking into the business owner, and the only thing, if you happen to come across any stuff to do with this, the only thing we can find tying any of these people together is that party before. That's the only tie that we can find between them. Like all different walks of lives, different financial groups, social circles. Almost everything's different apart from that one location. That's the only thing any of them have in common.
Now, voices in my head, remind me, how did I get invited to that party?
There was an invitation sent out. Effectively, you went in as part of the plus ones that Ashley was able to take with her. Though you did have a backup for that you could enter through having a invitation via the government as you are totally someone who should be here, and that you were basically to go there as part of the security detail to watch for communists in these rich places.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah, it was basically they had gotten you the invitation so that you could go and do your job there under the guise
I
of
was
being a
able
part
to
of
say
this.
that, no, I'm so competent and good at my job, I got my own invitation.
Yeah. Yeah, effectively the package arrives via dead drop or wherever, and you open it up, find an invitation, like, I've already got one. Put it back in the envelope, stick it in the drawer for later, just in case.
Well, I'll mention to him that, I attended that party. You may have seen my Agent Orange outfit.
You could almost hear the shrug over the phone when the guy's like, dude, I work on the calls here.
No, fair enough. No, my point for that is that, I attended that party. I spoke to many of the guests. If it's all right, would anyone object if would anyone object if I took over investigating that for now? I mean, there is a chance that I could be next on this psycho's list.
Well, that is fair. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, there shouldn't be any problem with that. If you wanna look into that, as I say, the tasked field agents, they're not being pulled in for this for the kidnapping case. So if you want to look into
And
that,
now when the morgue remembers to call his boss, he actually has an alibi. Because that was the thing when Nathaniel was there. He gave all his information and he said he'd have to run it by his superiors. Of course, the very next day, the morgue gets broken into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now I've got the alibi. That's the. I asked for permission after the fact, but it will still be on record that I asked for permission.
retroactive.
Retroactively.
Yep. So,
Because it's honestly one of those things where, like, the BOI, for the most part, they don't really care if you're stepping on toes prior to actually official involvement. It's one of the things, as a field agent, you are supposed to keep your eye out for potential things that may be of interest. This is something that is of interest. So it's well within the realms of, I'm going to take a closer look at that before I start officially investigating.
yeah, so now you've got the grounds to officially investigate. and your alibi.
Yeah.
That ties up a loose end from the last episode. Woo!
It also means that I can probably get some discretionary funds to assist with doing this, as well as it's going to be a lot easier for me to sort of throw my. It's going to be a lot easier for me to basically flash my badge around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, as the guy's basically saying, yeah, go for it. If the opportunity arises, take it. You could hear a little bit of file work getting, files getting shifted around, and the sound of a stamp, which probably means, well, you basically take this as the red tape is relaxing.
Yep.
So the red tape in regards to this specific investigation, the red tape is officially relaxed a bit.
And
Because you can't officially step on a few toes.
In that file, they do say the officer, the detective that is in charge, is Pat Beach. Pat Peach.
So, Vinny's contact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pat
So-
Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
now you have...
I could have sworn you were saying Pet Beach, and I was like,
No,
the
no.
fuck does that mean? No, Pat Beach. Got it.
Pat Beach.
I mean, in fairness, I thought his last name was Beach until literally 5 seconds ago. Oh, it is Pat Beach.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'd address him as Mr. Beach.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Hey, fair enough, Maybe that's his nickname. He walks into the room, hey, sup, Pappage? And he's like, oh, you fucking guys.
Well,
I
I
hate
know
that
what gift
nickname.
I'm getting him. I'm gonna start a trend. I'm gonna get him a coffee mug that says "Life's a beach."
Let's be-
I mean, we have a
He's not
coffee
gonna
mug.
get it, and I'm gonna say, no, trust me. In like 80 years, this is gonna be seen as like daring and fun.
I don't plan to live that long. Well, too bad.
You'll be a trendsetter.
Here's another mug in all black that says "Life's a bitch, then you die."
Right.
Yeah, that'll be fine
Actual
in
mug
about
that
50
exists,
years.
by the way.
Yes.
I don't want to give him anything that may be construed as a threat.
All right.
You know what? Fair.
So you do manage to get your credentials onto this, and you're given the name to talk to, which now gives you credentials to do whatever you want.
Involving the
All
investigation.
I've ever
You heard
heard
it.
All I've ever
investigation.
wanted. Carte blanche to do whatever I want.
Well,
So you
to
heard
a
it.
degree.
We could burn down the city.
No, you
Yep.
can't. You can't burn down the city. You.
All right,
to-
come on, let's go
to-
paint this town red.
to
Yep, you said we could do
the-
whatever we want.
To this degree, on this particular case.
I mean, if they burn down the city, they flush out the murderer, hopefully, question mark.
Well, hopefully
We
he's just
definitely
dead.
killed the murderer.
We definitely killed a murderer. Statistically.
Oh god, no! What was that great line from? What was that great line from Team Years? Hey, congratulations, Al! We saved most of Boston.
Most is better than none. Most is better than some. Most is better than half.
What the fuck?
Most are...
We saved some of Boston.
Oh, Well.
God.
we tried.
All right.
Oh boy!
So,
Oh boy!
Give it the old
anyone
college try.
else gonna do anything during those 3 days?
No, Francis is largely lying low and listening to the radio.
Okay.
I was taking a R&R to get rid of some of this harm.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, heal up.
yeah, heal up. You got three days of full heal or healing.
I mean, it's up to the GMs how much I heal in that time.
How much harm have you got? Is it 4?
Yeah.
You can heal back 2 in the 3 days. But you're able to take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Well,
Okay.
there's a certain
Easy.
type of healing happening.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
one will
kind of
definitely,
healing.
the one will definitely
Well,
get sued
calling it
for.
now.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it these days.
Mhm,
Yeah, a
mhm.
guy's gonna write a song about that in a few years. It'll be really popular, and then his estate sues anyone who even thinks about talking about it.
Mhm.
Happy birthday?
Yes, the Happy Birthday song is in fact suable.
Was until 2016, I believe.
No, it still is. You are currently being sued because you mentioned it.
Cool.
It's not by the original owners, it's by everybody else because you sang the damn song.
Yeah.
Fair use. Fair use.
Nope, doesn't count.
No. See, those letters are backwards. Fair Sue.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? No, they wouldn't be backwards. They'd be in a anagram though.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, the joke got through. Who cares?
You know what? That's
All right.
Well, remember, it's not really 666, it's 999.
Okay, this next part of the segment is going to go towards Nathaniel. Nathaniel, you pretty much are part
happens.
of you've now gotten your way of dealing with this new project of the Sin Slayer. And what are you going to do first?
I'm going to. No, I've got permission for this. Basically, start compiling all the information we have available. Every single victim, and like access to the full and entire autopsy reports. I want to know exactly how each person died.
Okay.
Because you can't, well, I'm trying to envision the number of things that would have to go wrong, or right, rather, to murder someone by making them choke on a pie.
True. All right. So the first thing that let's go with the one you know the most of, and that's Caleb Waite. You pretty much have found out that he was shot directly on the radio.
Yep.
By his former colleague. And it was meant to happen, but not an actual shot. It was supposed to be, the shot happens, the scream happens, and the end of the show happens.
Mm.
But it was so real that, everybody keeps going back to that Shadow show and listening to it, and that the actress definitely saw something. She just screamed. You do know.
Wait. She was supposed to scream. So
Yeah.
how does the fact that
She screamed, but the scream was actually, it was more than just a normal acting scream.
I wasn't expressly here during the thing, so if this contradicts, tough. The way that the radio show normally plays out is you would hear, you would assume that the way that it's supposed to go is you'd hear the shot, you'd hear her scream, and then you would get the audio thing. I don't know what the proper term for it is, but it'd be like, oh, what happens next on The Shadow? Find out next week, guys, kind of thing. It didn't. It completely just cut. You heard someone off to the distance shout it, what sounded like shouting out, oh shit, as everything went silent. And then there's 2 or 3 minutes of silence before the radio came back with like, breaking news, something's happened, we're not talking about it. That kind of clued in like, oh, something did happen. That was not, something went wrong with the show. Hence, you guys then went to find out what the fuck.
That was pretty much close to what was happening, except
Yeah,
they do that until next time, but then
yeah, you could tell that it was there was a panic in the voice, kind of thing. Like you've also heard enough gunshots that you know the difference between a sound effect of a gunshot and an actual gunshot being fired in a location, and also the sudden panic in the voice, which didn't sound like, it's something about the actress screaming, like her panic sounded genuine, whereas the acted, you could always tell this is acting, this isn't a genuine thing.
So basically, she just wasn't a very good actress. She's not. Oh, wait, fair enough. She's not that good an actress. Would be the thing to say.
Yeah. And then that's why you guys went and did the stuff.
because it sounded so real and different. So, and you learn from that that his colleague killed him, and somebody killed the colleague.
And how did the colleague die again?
The colleague, particularly, he was shot by what seems to be a 9.5 to 10.5 foot man. That the old lady thought looked like had hooves on the bottom of their feet, but it looked like clown shoes. That they were kind of with a hook that went upward. And you will know that there was no horses there. So the hoof mark that was made seemed to be like a Clydesdale horse, and currently there is not a Clydesdale on the force.
That location is that someone called in hearing gunshots, so patrol unit in the area was sent around to have a look around. They found the door open and bloodstain on the wall, so they immediately called it in. Detectives were coming out at the time. The detective specifically was Pat Beach, and through having the contact with Vinny, Vinny asked to tag along, and Pat agreed, so Vinny went along. The report basically concludes that yes, the guy was shot effectively at point blank, with a likely a revolver. Yeah, it would be a revolver. The semi-autos are not fully in circulation at this point. Yeah, so he was shot with a revolver at point blank and then executed because the initial shot didn't kill him. There was evidence that he was crawling away towards the kitchen. He was then executed with a second shot to the forehead, and nothing in the apartment looked like it had been touched at all. Other than there were a couple of large, estimated to be about size 10 to possibly size 11, very strange footprints leading up that kind of looked, they looked like there was a shoe print where the foot wasn't fully in the shoe. Like, it's very difficult to actually understand how they're trying to describe it because it was just incredibly weird. Outside the apartment block, there was what looked like a horse had stamped really aggressively into a concrete slab, which had broken. And at that location, a old lady that lived across the street, she related to Vinny about, she was woken up by the initial bang, and when she was looking out in the street, she saw this dude that Vinny ascertained by standing on a box and holding his hand up to effectively mark about the 10-foot mark. That's where she says, yeah, the guy's head was about there. Later on, a sketch artist got with the old lady. came back to the group with the sketch, which effectively looked like a Sasquatch, essentially. But it was a Sasquatch that appeared to have something that kind of looked like a horn on top of their head. And weirdly, the old lady had indicated in such a way that the sketch artist, on doing a little sketch of how tall they would have been against the wall, had penciled in a like what looks like a door, and then just written the words "magic door?"
Also, the face.
for how the old lady had described this like thing leaving the scene. Apparently, opened a door in the wall, like there is no door, and left.
Everything was furry except for the face.
Yeah, which is
And
why
they were
she effectively gave the description of, I think I was seeing shit because I'm on medication and had also just woken up.
Yeah. So that's what you get from Caleb. From Maxine Summit, the body was found at the party behind a closed door that looks like a fake door. What would it call it?
It was a hidden doorway
Hidden
behind
doorway.
a bookcase, but whoever closed it did a really bad job because you could tell that it was a door.
And they found
Yeah,
him there.
they had left the book pulled down and it was slightly ajar. You could see there was a room behind it, and that's how it was discovered.
What you find out is the body was nearly void of blood, and there was no she was not wearing anything.
Wait, so she was found not where? What?
He was found naked with no blood.
With little blood.
Naked with very little blood.
Mm-hmm.
And like any visible wounds?
There was a bite on her thigh, inner thigh.
Now, when you say bite,
Right. The autopsy report would indicate.
dog bite, like what's
Hold on. The autopsy report would indicate two close together puncture wounds that would be like about 3 inches wide. Like 3 inches between the puncture wounds.
2 inches.
Alright, fine, 2 inches. Point is, size doesn't matter. It's a nail you're throwing it at. Point is, you have done enough research in the previous week. You 100% look at this and it reads like the description of Dracula bite. The little Nathaniel on your shoulder is like that's a Dracula.
That's a Dracula, that is. Alright.
That is also the missing
So we got
body,
Dracula's
and that is also the missing body from the morgue.
Yes.
So we got Dracula's, and we've also got the hoof prints,
Mm-hmm.
which may suggest it's a Chiron.
Let me query
Possibly.
one small detail.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay. You're gonna have to tell them about that.
They did also find on her back the symbol that Elle has written out is lust.
Yeah, in the report you're able to get the symbol is described and also jotted down, and yeah, it matches what Elle had written the list out of the other Enochian symbols. It matches the lust symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Richie has been calling day in and day out about Maxine, and that is in the report. He has also been reporting to MIT quite a bit, and they have records of that. And he's recently disappeared. They have not been able to find him. They're not sure if it's because he might be involved with the Dexter thing. It has been reported that he is calling MIT, but he's also calling the police, calling Pat Beach a lot. And it stopped about, well, the morning of the break-in. Let me see here. What else do we need to say? Now, for the one, that's dealing with Dr. Namus, he had, died with a drug overdose. He too had the symbol on his back, greed. That is still in the morgue. His wife had found him and knew that, and there has been some information that the wife may know something more, but is keeping tight-lipped about it. So that's Dr. Namus. The only thing they know about that one is that he was at the party, and that evening after the party, he was dead. Schumer died rather recently. She was supposedly gorged on a pie and died due to choking.
Autopsy does report that there are, like, effectively, even without the choking, she was dead because of internal hemorrhaging due to literally being force-fed to the point of dying.
Yeah. So there is definitely a killer. They just haven't said anything out about it on who it could be. They don't know anything about that. They do know that she was probably force-fed instead of actually she was feeding herself. She was force-fed.
Yeah, one thing that's also mentioned with all of these reports and for the actual case report is the one thing that outright has not been informed to any outside media, because the deaths, all of them apart from Maxine, sorry, the thigh bite found at the castle. All the other deaths have been reported in the papers. The thing that connects them all being that, you know, they all had these Enochian symbols on their, apparently branded into their backs. That detail is not in any. It's expressly stated to not release this information. Mm-hmm. That's being kept under wraps because all of the news reports, and there are a few newspaper clippings like added in of the reports in the papers. Effectively, the media is treating these all as random. These people all just happen to die about at the same time. There's no connections drawn.
Okay. I think that's probably a good point where we could stop for the night. We'll start up with you next time first. Because I'm sure you're going to share that with other people. Is there anything else you need to know before we call it?
No, that's a big old info dump.
All those deaths have been within 1 week. And right after the party.
More specifically, there is a specific to that. Because I believe it was the second Friday of the month of January, 1929 we're on, right? That's, yeah, sorry, the 15th of January, second Friday of the month, that's the, that was the day of the first one. So, like, for all it's still within the after the party period, it's not like it started happening the day after. It started 2 weeks later.
No, that's not right. No, that's... Sorry. It's all happened before the 15th. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, disregard what I said there. God damn it. See, weird things that you Americans believe. Because I've never heard of this thing prior to Karsa bringing it up.
Yeah. There's actually something that happens on the 15th.
Yeah, also, just in reference, because this is... I'm calling it now because I want the party to end. The party is now done.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you are now officially on a separate mystery. So you all have your health back starting next session.
Yes.
Alright.
Hooray! That means next session I get to start with rolling my thing.
Yeah, and if anyone has used luck during this, you get one back.
Yeah.
Yay! And on that bombshell, I shall leave you guys to it. Good luck on your rest of your tabletop endeavors for the rest of the week.
You can't make me.
Yeah, you can't make us. You're not a real dad.
So...
Okay, then try not to TPK.
Same answer.
You can't make me.
If I
You're
do
not
that,
my
that
real
means I'm
dad.
killing your character.
Alright, so as we have done a definite dump of information, and we have, and I want to make this clear, all of this has happened before the 15th of January. So, at this point in time, I think we're going to call it for the night, and we will start up again with Nathaniel next time on Waystone Mysteries. Thank you for being here. This is Karsa KKWX. Karsa's my name. KKWX is my empire here today with my friends from NRT as we were playing Waystone Mysteries. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.